Hey everybody, I'm Andrew from EMP Shield, and today I'm excited to show you our new technology, the world's first whole home EMP protection device. With over 37 models that can be used around the world, our family of EMP protection devices installs easily in minutes. Being employed this year by federal organizations and electrical companies, the EMP Shield has been tested at Keystone Compliance, a federally approved DoD testing facility. Also serving as one of the world's fastest whole home surge protection devices, working in less than 1 nanosecond, the EMP Shield will protect against electromagnetic pulses, coronal mass ejections, lightning, and all forms of power surges. Proven to withstand more than 40 EMP strikes with zero degradation, the EMP Shield is also one of the world's strongest surge protectors, capable of withstanding over 100,000 amps. So, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like our video and post any comments you have down below. We're sure you guys are going to have quite a few questions, so our engineers are going to be on standby to answer any questions you may have. Most importantly, be sure to share our video, as we're sure your friends are also going to be interested in our new technology. Help us get an EMP Shield into every house in America. Thanks again for watching. Bye.
But wait, there's more.
Hey everybody, before we get into today's video or live stream, I just wanted to tell you all about MyPatriotSupply. They have like so many products, it's crazy. I wouldn't be able to even do a whole video on it. But just to kind of give you a quick brief overview, I'll go ahead and play this short video clip and try to keep up with it as we go. So they have the emergency survival food. They have these special sales. They have a gift guide, and you can just all these different gift ideas down below. They have awesome solar generators. Every solar generator comes with a solar panel, so for outside charging. You've got most recommended survival gear, water purifiers, flashlights, candles, everything, heirloom seeds, 70 plus varieties, all the different brands that they have here. Let me pause this here so I can go through the list. They've got Aqua Pure water filtration, Aquameyer off-grid hydration, Beyond Outdoor Meals, Franklin's Finest Survival Coffee. It's awesome coffee, really good. Grid Doctor Power Solutions, Instafire Unstoppable Flame and Heat, MyMedic First Aid Kits. Again, we mentioned the heirloom seeds. These are the Patriot Seed heirloom seeds. The Ready Hour food and the Ready Hour gear. Over to the right is my QR code. If you use that code or click the link in the description below, you can get discounts when you make your purchases. Good morning, happy people. Happy hump day. I was afraid I wasn't going to have a whole lot to talk about this morning. It's like, man, is it even worth even going on and doing a stream? But then I closed out of X and my other stuff. Did some refreshes, and whoo. So the title today is Who's on the Doom List, or Who Made the Doom List. But I think that the other stuff that I got is going to be, I think, even bigger and more important for what we're going to cover. And yeah, there's some big stuff going on. And I'm kind of wondering what it's going to be like with these things that are happening now as compared to like similar things that have been happening over the past couple of months. So let's see. Go ahead and make sure you guys hit that like button. Give me a thumbs up, and don't just comment and chat. Put your comments down below too if you have any comments. I read all the comments. And I might not get to it like right away, right after the stream, but I get to them throughout the day, and I always check them each time I go online, which is quite frequently. All right, let me see. I think what I'm going to do, well, let me just get some of the other stuff out of the way. Again, I got to talk about the website, realtube.stream. It's totally free to use. You don't have to log in. You can go there and browse, watch videos, read all the articles. If you want to be able to comment on the articles or make comments on the videos, or have access to the forums and some other things that we're going to be having available there on the website, you'll have to set up a free account. It doesn't cost anything. You can use an anonymous name, and you can upgrade yourself. All you got to do is put in a valid email address, because then you're going to get an email that you can click on, and it will automatically upgrade you. And if you are having issues with upgrading yourself, just shoot me an email at mre@irlmediahq.com. I'll get that, and we'll go ahead and get you set up. I think that's pretty much it. I'm not going to show too much on the screen as far as the stuff that I'm going to go across, because I started bookmarking, and unfortunately some of the stuff I bookmarked earlier, so it's like way gone. It would take me forever to find it again. So I got to scroll around, and I don't want you guys to get vertigo or get dizzy while I'm going through it. So like I said, we're going to talk about who made the Doom List first. Okay, there's going to be quite a few people. I'm going to start out with the main one, and then I'm going to end with a mic drop from another Congress person. Okay, so right now we have they call it a truth over on Truth Social that President Trump put out. And he is talking in reference to MTG. He says, I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of the great state of Georgia. Over the past few weeks, despite my creating record achievements for our country, including a total and complete victory on the shutdown, closed borders, low taxes, no men and women's sports or transgender for everyone, ending DEI, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation, the biggest regulation cuts in history, stopping 8 wars, rebuilding our military, being respected by every country in the world, as opposed to being the laughing stock that we were just 12 months ago. Okay, now I got to take a breath. Okay. Having trillions of dollars, record-setting, invested in the USA, and having created the hottest country anywhere in the world from being a dead country just 12 months ago, and so much more. All I see wacky Marjorie do is complain. It seems to all begin when I sent her a poll stating that she should not run for senator or governor because she was only at 12% in the polls and didn't have a chance unless, of course, she had my endorsement, which she wasn't about to get. She has told many people that she is upset that I don't return her phone calls anymore. But with 219 congressmen and women, 53 U.S. senators, 24 cabinet members, almost 200 countries, and an otherwise normal life to lead, I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. I understand that wonderful conservative people are thinking about primarying Marjorie in her district of Georgia, that they too are fed up with her and her antics, and if the right person runs, they will have my complete and unyielding support. She has gone far left, even doing The View with their low IQ Republican-hating anchors. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. So I'm going to go a little bit further into this from what he stated here. And like I said, I got to scroll, so let me scroll around to find, well, actually, this might make it easier because I can remove these now, and then it's less to scroll through. So she's going to be one of the Republicans, and I have a feeling there's going to be quite a few more, as you're going to find out from the mic drop later. But now we're going to talk about Hakeem Jeffries. So we're finding out now that he solicited money from Jeffrey Epstein after he had already pleaded guilty for procuring a child for prostitution. Stacey Plaskett was fed questions by Epstein after he pled guilty for procuring a child for prostitution. So we talked about this yesterday, that right during the hearing, she was getting messages from Epstein just before she was getting ready to question Trump's attorney Cohen. So then we've got more information. This is pretty much the same thing, but Stacey Plaskett, she's a Democrat from the Virgin Islands, texted convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in real time during the 2019 Michael Cohen hearing, asking for clarification on Rona Graff, right before grilling Cohen on Trump's associates. Epstein even said, "Good work after." So, question is, how is it that a registered sex offender has the, number one, the access to be able to feed questions to a congresswoman, but not only just the congresswoman, but while she's actually in the hearing? So I think this reeks, and the DOJ must investigate, strip committees, clearances, expel her now. It's bad. Okay, and we're about to find out, because this is all about Epstein. And I'm going to go through a whole bunch of different posts here, because this is where I said I didn't want to talk about anything Jeffrey Epstein until we hit a certain point. And in my opinion, we hit that certain point yesterday, and things are going to start snowballing from here on out in reference to the Epstein files and who are the people that are actually involved. And I can tell you, it's not President Trump. I posted on X to somebody that was bringing up about Trump being in the Epstein files and why he pushed it off, and I put the same thing out that everybody has. It's like, well, why didn't Biden do it? Why didn't Obama? They had the ability to do it. And her response, and the one that wanted to argue with me, her response was, well, they were going to do it, but they got held up by Congress and by judges. And I'm like, wait a minute, what do you think's happening right now with President Trump? Congress was in a shutdown, probably the underlying thing was they were trying to get their poop together so they could figure out how they were going to make this play when the Epstein stuff actually was going to get released after the shutdown, and the healthcare stuff too. But you notice the healthcare, the SNAP, and all that other stuff, they're not talking about that anymore. They're only talking about the Epstein stuff, and they're trying to basically play their narrative. So here we have the press secretary. What she says is the unredacted version proves that the victim in this email that they're talking about that was released and highly redacted said on numerous occasions that President Trump never did anything wrong. Classic playbook of the Democrats, using their friends in the fake news to spin up a narrative. So here we go. There's more, okay? There's a lot more. Once I scroll past here. All right, so now Scott Jennings, he's one of the anchormen there on CNN. I think he's actually a pretty straightforward guy, from what I can tell. He basically covers things fair and unbalanced. He doesn't say everything's perfect with President Trump, but he sure does do a lot better, and he puts people in their place when they're coming out with the BS on CNN. But he gave his opinion on why MTG turned on Trump, and I am going to actually pop this one up and let y'all listen to it. So let me just scooch over here, and I got to get back over to my right screen here, and then I'm just going to play it for you.
Started with that political engagement when they sent her that.
Make sure I have volume
That's when you start
here.
to see everything change. She opposed the president on his Middle East policy, attacking the Houthi rebels, attacking Iran. She's opposed the president on deportations this summer. So she's sort of become a policy opponent of the president, but I think it really all started with that political engagement, and now she's one of his most frequent critics on some of what I would argue has been his biggest successes this year. And if you want to count yourself as an ally of the President of the United States, it's not great to go out and run out to The View and other places and crap on him 24 hours a day. I mean, that's essentially what she's become. It's a well-worn path. A lot of other Republicans who've turned on the president have done that too.
But there's a difference.
Do you think it started with that political engagement?
All right.
Sent her that poll.
Let me pause that. So what Scott is basically doing is putting out a whole laundry list of reasons why Trump basically went off on Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's basically doing the same thing Thomas Massey's doing. She's not voting for anything now that the Republicans are trying to get done. Maybe she is on some, but the crucial stuff she's not. She's gone out on The View and stabbed Trump in the back. She's off her rocker. So she's basically the one Republican right now that made the doom list. And like I said, there's going to be more. So let's see here. There was something else that, I don't know why that got in there. I don't need that. All right, there was some more stuff in here on Hakeem Jeffries. And this is in relation to the email that was put out. I don't know if I actually kept hers. I didn't. But there was an email that, oh, it is here. It's actually in the video itself. Abigail Jackson posted, why was Hakeem Jeffries soliciting money and dinner from Epstein? And then it was like, we are thrilled to announce that we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. They were going to have a big dinner and all this other stuff. So Hakeem Jeffries is on CNN, and he's outright lying while he's being grilled by President Trump's favorite CNN lady. So he's in reference to the email, he says, I have no recollection of the email. I never met him. In reference to Epstein, I know nothing about him. So we already know Hakeem Jeffries is a liar because CNN themselves put the receipts up on the screen, which surprises me. All right, so I think that the whole Epstein thing is going to be huge. I mean, this is all kind of leading all into that. But again, with Hakeem soliciting money from Epstein in 2013, now this is after he was already convicted, in an effort to win a majority. Okay, there's a reference made to something Q said on the Q post. How do you legally inject, make public, use as evidence? And they signed it Q. So basically, you have to have hearings, and when you have hearings, you have to produce your information. So that's where it's coming out. So we know that the Democrats are becoming seriously panicked now that the truth about their connections are being exposed. So in 2013, well after Epstein's convictions, Hakeem Jeffries' campaign solicited the money. Stacey Plaskett was first. Now Hakeem Jeffries has been exposed. And President Trump mentioned yesterday, he named off a bunch of names, but he mentioned Obama, he mentioned who all did he mention? He mentioned Obama, he mentioned Bill Clinton, he mentions, I think his name was Summers, who was the guy that was in head of the big university. So there's more names coming out, and I have a feeling that we're going to find not only it's going to be a majority of Democrats, but we're also going to start finding out that there were some more Republicans that were there, and not just there on the island, but involved with some of the other shenanigans that were going on. And I believe there were a couple people that I was listening to last night again. They think that Hollywood is going to have a conniption fit now too with what's going on. Okay, so let's see here. Now, let me just clear out these bookmarks here so that I can now scroll through the last parts pretty simply here. Let's see. Yeah, we already got that one. All right. I'm going to play this. So this here is in reference to the Democrats being guilty of sedition, okay? Because, and specifically the Democrats that are in this video, because what they're falling under is Title 18, Section 2384 of the U.S. Code, which defines and acts by two or more people conspiring to overthrow, put down, or destroy the government by force. It must involve a real plan to disrupt governmental functions. All right, so let me pop this up on the screen, and I'm going to start it over so you get all of the audio for it. It's a minute, 10 seconds long.
I want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right
Trying to coerce the military into disobeying lawful orders is what they're doing.
now. Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk. This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army, or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution and who we are as Americans. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
So, if you look at that on the surface level, what they said and what they're doing isn't seditious. But it actually is, because they're talking directly to every branch of the military, and they're saying, we need you right now to stand up for what is right and to abide by our Constitution. Okay, here's the first thing. These people are really stupid because they don't know that we are already in a continuity of government. We're like in the 50%. We were in full. Now we've kind of pulled back to 50 percentile continuity of government. And we are in and have been in martial law. It's been a quiet martial law, but it's going to be probably officially announced at some point. I have a feeling that's going to be when the things that we're going to talk about next pop in. And I just popped back to the other screen here, and I got my chats up, and I see Ram Reds out there. Good morning. Yeah, so Ram Red saying that MTG owns stock in 3 major vaccine makers, and I was just telling my buddy about that this morning. That's a big no-no for all of us MAGA folks. Anybody that's especially involved with big pharma, big no-no. All right, and we talked about her net worth, and the only reason that it jumped so much is because of all the lobbyists that she's getting money from. So, but it makes me start to wonder too, because President Trump called her a traitor. Okay, did he mean just to the Republican Party, or did he mean to the United States? That remains to be seen. Yeah, so, yep, definitely some dirty insider trading stuff there, similar to what Nancy Pelosi did, but I think it might even go a little bit deeper. So, moving on from that, I'm going to get rid of some of these here. I just want to make sure that the ones that I've already covered, I don't have in here. All right, so I think where I need to be is all the way down at the bottom. Yep. So, as of yesterday, Governor Abbott designated the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE as foreign terrorist and transnational criminal organizations. Now, he can't do that for the whole United States. He can just do it for his state. He can say, this is what we're going to do. So, basically, what this is going to do is going to block them from buying or acquiring any more land, and quite possibly cause them to lose the land that they've already purchased and what they're doing right now. Okay, so I don't know if you're aware. I'm sure, I know Ramred is, but here in Texas, okay, a lot of people are thinking, yeah, Texas is like the last vestige of being a red state. I got to tell you folks something. The biggest cities in Texas, Houston, Austin, Dallas-Fort Worth, Arlington, Plano, a couple other places that I can't think of at the top of my head, but the top 5 largest cities in Texas are being invaded by the people who are being supported by and getting all of this aid from the Muslim Brotherhood, and especially from CAIR, C-A-I-R. So now he's declared it. Let's see what Texas is going to do to start getting rid of them. Now we're going to go from beautiful, warm Texas all the way up to freezing cold Muslim-dominated Dearborn, Michigan. There are a huge bunch of patriots that are coming together in Dearborn, and they are marching the streets, carrying signs. I'm going to bring this up. I think you guys will like to see this. I will just keep bringing it back and forth. I don't want to have sound on, but I'll bring it back to the beginning and mute that. So it looks like we got maybe some Proud Boys in that mix there. I know that a couple of the MAGA press reporters that were in Portland are also here. So what they're doing is they got this march going on this morning, and they're going to be again probably going back to, I know that I'm pretty sure yesterday late afternoon they were also at the courthouse because they wanted to bring up charges against some of the attacks that they got there. Apparently some of the not so indigenous folks of Dearborn, Michigan put hands on some of these people. So we're going to see what happens there. All right. There's a lot more to this, but I'm mainly more so just going to briefly go over the stuff. I'm not going to read everything. I'm going to touch on it. I'm just looking to see what my time is here. All right. So there's just some more stuff. American Patriots clashing with Islamists in Dearborn. If this continues, it surely will end badly. And they did catch some stuff on video where, you know, some of the people were getting pushed around. Well, some of the I'm trying to remember some of these guys' names that were in Portland, but they kind of got shoved around a little bit. So they're standing out there. They've got a grill. They're gonna grill some pork steaks and some bacon, and I think they're probably gonna put a couple of Korans on there. They're holding signs up about Muhammad was a pedophile, ban Sharia law, deport all Muslims. They're not holding back on anything. So it remains to be seen how well the Muslims there hold back on any violence. We'll see what happens. I know one of the guys was like, we allow everybody now, and this is how he said it. We allow people from all races here. Okay, so this is a Muslim that immigrated here, set up shop in Dearborn, and he's telling American citizens, Americans that are there protesting legally, saying, we allow all races here. And then he smirks, starts to walk away, turns around and says that President Trump is a pedophile. So let's see. Now, I was looking at this. There was one from yesterday. I don't know if they're still doing some of it today. I think at this march actually happened at 3:00 yesterday afternoon. I was looking at the wrong timestamp. I thought it was for 3 p.m. Eastern time today, but it was actually yesterday. I don't know if they're going to do any more today or not. We will see. All right. Then we got Ben Berquam. Now we're back down to Texas again. He says we're calling it the Meadow. Now Epic is actually the name of a city, and it said many parts of that have already been taken over, pretty much just like Dearborn. But where Epic is concerned, and where Governor Abbott absolutely needs to get active on, there were some below the table illegal land purchase agreements that happened in Epic, and fraudulent. It was a lot of fraudulent paperwork and purchases by people that wouldn't be allowed to have that property here. So this is going to be huge. He basically, Ben's saying many parts of Texas have already been taken over by jihad. At this point, it's either us or them. Okay, so in other news that is related, CARE, CAIR, has been sending $1,000 checks to riotous students for causing mayhem on college campuses. Just how many other organizations were directly funding the student-led chaos? And this is all the anti-Israel agitators that have been acting up on the college campuses here in the United States. So they're actually paying them $1,000 to go out and do this. Okay, so if they're doing that now with college students, how much longer do we have to wait before the sleeper cells are activated? Okay, so we're gonna have some issues pretty soon, I think. All right, so I think I've covered all that stuff that I wanted to quickly go over. There was one other thing, and I thought I bookmarked it. Maybe I didn't put it in the right bookmark folder. Let me just double check. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure, I thought I did. But if not, I can ad-lib it well enough to get the point across. And it's gotta be in, maybe in the regular bookmarks. Maybe not. I hope I did. I don't want to lose it. I mean, there's other stuff in here too where Muslims, some of the big cities here, out in California, here in Texas, they're not hiding the fact that they want to take over America, and they're showing you how they do it. It's all about the open borders to increase their numbers. And they also have global operation networking for immigration and refugees under hundreds of human rights and civil rights organizations. They also run Muslim politicians and legislators for that cause. This is what happened more recently in New York, Minnesota, Michigan. There are Muslims in office all across the United States. They might not be up in the state offices, but some of them are in local. Okay, but yeah, I am trying to find that one. I might have to scroll back on my regular feed here to find it. Let me just type in here. Anna Paulina Luna posted this. Let me find it. Here it is, right here. And I am going to put this one on the screen for you. So let me just get this over here, and I'm going to start it over so you get sound. And then
For what purpose does the gentlelady from Florida seek recognition?
I have a parliamentary inquiry.
The gentlelady from Florida will state her inquiry.
I was wondering if the Speaker of the House of Representatives can explain why leadership on both sides, both Democrat and Republican, are cutting back-end deals to cover up public corruption in the House of Representatives for both Republican and Democrat members of Congress.
The gentlelady has not stated a proper parliamentary inquiry.
Thank you very much, but I think the American people know what happened tonight.
boom, mic drop. So yeah, I wanted to save that one for last. And then we'll take a peek here, see if there's anything going on in the chat. So Ramred's the only active one in chat. We have a few more people watching, it looks, but so let's just see. Make some comments here. Yes, and DJT never puts someone in the spotlight without having a very good reason, and that's true. And in this case, that's why I said that when he did like he did with Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's on what's called the doom list. Her political career is over. I don't think she'll get elected as dog catcher in her district in Georgia. So let's see here. The Texas state government has handed over $13 million of federal and state monies to mosques and community groups aligned with Islamists. Yes. And what really gets me on this, so we saw, and that's why I made the question. Abbott has declared CARE and the Muslim Brotherhood as terrorist organizations, and they cannot buy land or do business. And we're going to see if he's actually going to have them expelled out of the state. Okay, because why would he put something like that out if he wasn't actually going to follow through? If he designated them as that and have them expelled, and anybody affiliated with them and the people that they gave money to expelled out of the state, and maybe with federal help, get them removed out of the United States, get them deported. Okay, so maybe 45 will sue him for defamation. Well, who are you talking about there for sue who for defamation? You talking? I mean, there's a lot of people that could be getting sued by President Trump for defamation. Are you talking about the guy that the Muslim guy in Dearborn that called him a pedophile? If on X, I see at least 30 posts a day with left-wing loonies, and even some people that claim to be America First. If they were truly America First, they would actually be backing what President Trump is doing and not kowtowing or being deceived by the lies about this whole Epstein hoax. And that's what I'm going to call it, as a hoax. But what I think is happening right now, and what we're going to see really hit big, is that we're actually seeing the destruction of the Democrat Party in real time right now. And we're gonna see, I would say, a serious disinfection of the Republican Party too. I think there's going to be a lot of rhinos that are going to be primaried. They're not going to get reelected. I have a feeling that when some of this stuff comes out about the Epstein, on who was really involved and who was there, we're going to start seeing a few different things. Okay, we're going to see resignations, which we were told to cover these, but way back at the beginning, and we did. And then we are probably going to start seeing what was referred to as suicide weekend. I got to be careful how I say stuff. But yeah, so we're gonna really start to see things happening. And as I mentioned yesterday, as things get very hot and start to become kinetic in Venezuela, that's when we're gonna see the Latino gangs here in the United States start to be activated. And at the same time, because I think a lot of them are working together, the cartels are working, I believe, I've seen some links there where they're working with ISIS, mainly ISIS, but I think they're working with Al-Qaeda too. They're even harboring some of them in Mexico and some of these other places, Venezuela. I would venture to say in Guatemala and Nicaragua as well. So, I think we're going to start to see things going kinetic. Unfortunately, I just have this bad feeling that either right at Christmas time or shortly after Christmas is when things are going to get smoking hot, and they're going to be that way. They'll probably, it'll be like a sine wave. It'll get hot, cool down, with these embedded groups, these sleeper cells, the gangs and stuff like that. And then Pantifa is like the least of our worries. Most of them, the best they can do is put on a blow-up costume and walk around the streets. And one of them, it was funny because one of them said, yeah, it's really easy for me to smoke a joint inside of this suit. I don't really think that the smoke in the joint was the big thing. I think most of these guys are doing all their little devious stuff, that because there have been quite a few, especially in Portland, that were registered sex offenders that were there protesting ICE. So, anyway, I am just looking at the chat to see what else we have going on. I've been going about 45 minutes. I don't have anything else, I don't believe. I think I covered everything. Is there anything out in chat that you guys want to talk about or, have mentioned or ask about before we close for the day? I'll give you, I give it like 12, 15 seconds because there usually is a little bit of a lag on the stream. Not from me, it's just automatically put in place by YouTube and Rumble so that you get better streams, I guess. I have noticed, though, that since I have hardwired, my streams seem to be quite a bit clearer. Even here on my local end, it seemed to have taken a lot of pressure off of the processor on my computer too, going wired rather than using the Wi-Fi. Okay, so I don't see anything coming in from chat. Hey, if you guys haven't, and even if you don't watch the whole stream from yesterday, if you can watch maybe the last 5 or 10 minutes, well, it won't even be the last 5 or 10 minutes. It'd be like the last 3 or 4 minutes of the stream. I'm kind of playing a little bit with some music and things like that. Awesome. Yeah, Larry Summers was the name. I knew it was Summers, but I couldn't think of his first name. But he's the guy from Harvard, if I remember right. Yeah, OpenAI was affected yesterday or the day before by the Cloudflare outage. Makes me wonder. Yeah. So anyway, back to yesterday's stream. It's going to be at the very end. It's kind of like my outro. Okay, if you could go look at the outro, and if you don't know the gist of what I'm getting at, because if you didn't see it, I've been playing with doing some music and kind of singing. Now, my regular singing voice without help is, like I said yesterday, cringy. But I can get a little help with like onboard studio stuff, just like they do when they're recording albums in a studio. They can move the levers and do different things. Some of them even go as far as wearing these microphones that distort their voice. I'm not doing that, and I'm not completely changing my voice, but I wanted to use my first one, because if I keep going, maybe they'll just get better because I understand the software better. But this was my first song that I put out. I wrote the words and polished it up, over a 24-hour period. And then over the next like 12 to 18 hours is when I did the music and had AI add in a little bit of like a background vocal. You can barely hear it. It almost sounds like it's kind of singing along right with me, but quieter in the background. But please leave a comment. Listen to it. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. I'm actually thinking about doing this and like maybe going on what I think it's called SoundCloud and putting music up over there. I'm thinking about writing some stuff and kind of doing some singing, and I don't know. If people like my stuff, maybe they'll pay like 99 cents for a song or something. I'm not gonna get all bent out of shape like some people and charge exorbitant amounts of money to buy a song. But anyway, maybe people will like what I do and will help. I don't know. I'm just kind of branching out and trying to do some things because as of May 1st, 2026, I am officially retired. I don't have to do like work anymore. I get to maybe start doing some traveling and doing some fun stuff. And I might do more live streams, and I might be doing more live streams on the road because I just got my Starlink Mini the other day, the mobile. The only thing is I don't have a generator to run it off of right now, but I can go to like Walmart and I can pick up like a power inverter that I can plug in my truck for like under $20, and then I can run it from there. And and it says that I would get the same speeds using that as I do with my Starlink at home. So I'm gonna have to test it pretty soon. But anyway, please check that out for me. Let me know what you think. Should I let the professionals be in the music industry, or with a little bit of AI help, is it okay for me to get into it? Do you think I could do all right? It's just I've always wanted to be in the music industry. I'm not good with any instruments or anything, but I've written songs before. Back in the day, in like my later grade school years after my voice changed, and in high school, I used to sing on the chorus, and I did pretty well. But after my military time and I got sleep apnea, so I had to have some surgery done where they ended up taking everything. I have no soft palate, no tonsils, no adenoids, no uvula, that little thingy that hangs down in the back of everybody's throat. I have none of that. I got nothing but straight in. So it changed my voice a little bit. And about maybe 3 months ago, I didn't have a stroke, but I was spraying this bug killer down here to kill all these darn fire ants that were running up along my fence, and you go to open the gate and you got a million ants crawling on you. But it was a windy day and I had this stuff fly back in my face and it got in my mouth. I didn't swallow any of it, but it absorbed into my mouth, and on the right side of my body, it gave me almost identical symptoms as you would get if you were having a stroke, except that my right arm went completely limp, and then after a few seconds started like flopping around like a fish out of water on the road. It was the weirdest thing. But come to find out, there's stuff there's a neurotoxin, which is what kills the bugs, but because it went into my mouth and went into the soft skin of the mouth, and it's like right at really close to my head, and it just was nuts. So anyway, I think that's it. I've been rambling on long enough. I don't want to hit the hour mark here. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow morning. I am going to be doing these at 9 o'clock every morning, Monday through Friday, unless I have an appointment or I'm like really, really, really sick. Okay. So Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning, I'll be doing this. And then if there's any major breaking news, I will definitely be covering that any time of the day or even on the weekend if I'm home. So yeah, you guys will see me around. I'll be doing a lot more of this. Ram, I want to get a hold of you, talk to you. I don't know if I still have your same phone number or not, but I wanted to talk to you and see if you have some time to collaborate on some things or not. But let me know. Otherwise, we can talk through the other messenger and figure that out. But I did want to get a hold of you. And I don't know if JB's out there, John Boy, if you're watching. My number changed after I moved down to Texas, so I have to figure out how to get you my new phone number. We gotta get caught up. Okay, that's it, guys. Be safe out there. Head on a swivel. Situational awareness. It doesn't matter if you live in the big city. Doesn't matter if you live in the burbs or out in the Boone Toolies like me. You never know what you're going to run into. You want to be safe. If you don't pack yourself, which you should be. You should have somebody with you that does or that can protect you. Don't, in these days, try not to be out there by yourself anywhere, okay? God bless every single one of you out there on the other side of this screen, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Have a good rest of your day, folks.